Mercedes, all new there. Norbert Haug's gone. Toto Wolff is in. Niki Lauda's in. And a certain Lewis Carl Hamilton is in as well. What sort of race cars he got for 2013?
It's very hard to judge at this stage. In terms of design terms, the car is significantly different to what we saw from last year, although outwardly it does appear to be very similar. It's a completely new monocoque. They've got lots of new thinking in the detail of the aerodynamics, particularly around the side pods, where you have lots of complex little vortex generators and fins, again, all trying to manipulate the airflow over the exhausts. The exhaust layout is very similar to what they tried late last year, which is this sort of McLaren-style semi-coanda setup with exhausts exiting sideways through the a bulge in the side pods. And then at the back of the car, it starts to kind of go awry slightly. There's, it's very bulky. There's quite a lot of outlet area for the cooling to escape through, which seems to be robbing some of the performance of the diffuser. And although the external signs are mixed, the biggest thing that we need to know is actually what's going on under the skin of the Mercedes. Obviously, had lots of problems last year. Some of them were aerodynamic, and some of them were more to do with the suspension. And as has been known, Mercedes have run a very complex passive suspension system on the car, which uses hydraulics, not only to link the front and the rear suspension, which most of the other teams already do, which just prevents the car diving too much under braking. But Mercedes have gone further and actually linked the suspension, not just front to rear, but also left to right. So this hydraulic system actually acts partially as a anti-roll bar as well, which gives you some other sort of vehicle dynamics benefits. Not quite clear if this system's really been working. Niki Lauda was quite critical of it when he came in to be chairman of Mercedes Motorsport at the end of last year. I've seen nothing to confirm whether this system is still on the car, or if they've gone back to a more conventional springs and dampers with maybe a simpler interlink system. So very hard to judge Mercedes at the moment. Obviously, they've had 2 pretty difficult days to the start of testing as well, which hasn't helped their cause.
Yeah, we'll obviously keep you updated, you the fan that is, on what they're doing at Mercedes. Yeah, but just to reflect on those on that difficult morning, certainly for Lewis Hamilton, a rear brake failure, relatively unusual these days. I think they're using Brembos on the Mercedes.
As I recall, yes, I think they are a Brembo customer. It appears as though the hydraulic connection to one of the rear brake calipers had come loose. Now, that could be a design problem. It could be a finger problem that a mechanic hadn't quite done something up. Or it could be something, that's vibrating that they weren't expecting. So, obviously, they've given up testing for the second day now. And hopefully they'll be back on track tomorrow.
And Scarbs, just to take you up on the point, you mentioned that they got a bit awry at the back of the car. Mm-hmm. Just comparing that back end aerodynamically with the other Mercedes runners, which I guess is the fair comparison, you're mm-hmm. saying that in your view the McLaren and the Force India are much tidier in that area?
Yeah, it seems to be that what Mercedes are trying to do is to actually keep a lot of the cooling flow that's coming out of the radiator pods all the way up to the point where they exit around the gearbox. Now, what a lot of other teams are doing, actually trying to free up that area to get the faster external airflow to hit the diffuser, and particularly the bottom of the diffuser where the starter motor hole is, which again provides you with a bit of diffuser performance for free. But whereas Mercedes are then blowing hot air which has come through the radiators, obviously is much slower, doesn't have the same effect on aerodynamic surfaces as external airflow would. So yeah, it's quite interesting that they've taken that approach. It may help them in the first flyaway races where obviously temperatures will be very high. And in that case, we would expect them to bring the bodywork in a lot tighter for the start of the kind of the Central European season.